All right, for those people who actually don't know what you do, just take us through what is your job? What do you do? Take us through a normal day.
Well, I basically drive a street cleanser, which is called a green machine, and I drive mostly do around Newport. So in the mornings I'll come into work, get my green machine, and then drive around Newport in the morning, do the main town, get that all prepped and ready. Do that to about 9 o'clock, and then after that basically we'll then go on to start the side roads and sort of other roads around Newport, so further out.
You're kind of like the hidden team, really, that people don't see, aren't you? Take us through. You have to be out of the town by a certain point.
Yeah, we have to be out of the town by 9 o'clock, obviously, because from about 8 o'clock it starts getting busy in Newport, so you have to be sort of preferably done by then, because you can get quite a lot of trouble with traffic and people, and more people about at that time of day, so you're getting in their way and everything, so that's like the best time to get out of there.
For you as a street cleaner, how important is it that we've got a clean island?
Well, I mean, obviously it's nice for us because it shows we're doing a good job, and obviously it's when we get a lot of people coming on here on holiday, and they obviously like to see how clean it is, and the Isle of Wight Council like to keep it up to a very high standard, so yeah, it's just nice, isn't it? It's nice to do your job well and get it all up to scratch.
What's the biggest challenge facing you guys at the moment in terms of like the kind of litter that you have to pick up?
It's basically more and more litter. As the years, I've worked here about 6 years, and over that time the litter has increased, what with different packaging, different products, more people about as such, like pubs, different hours like that. Yeah, so it's getting more and more every sort of year, really.
I was going to say, because of like the later times of supermarkets opening, the pubs opening later, does that make your job more difficult?
Well, yeah, it does do. Especially on a weekend, you get quite a lot of like from when the pubs are open later, you'll get a lot more sort of rubbish over a weekend on a Saturday and Sunday, like broken bottles, people being sick, such like, and even blood sometimes. So you get quite different types of things. Maybe you wouldn't have got many like a few years ago so much. And
your vehicle then, what does it do? Take us through exactly, what it can pick up, and it's pretty much versatile.
It's a big Hoover. Well, it's got you've got your brushes on the front, which help go up into the back of the vehicle. You've got power hose on there as well if you want to do any clean up any graffiti or sick and such like, and sort of.
I suppose it's like a Hoover, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's what it is. Basically, like you've got a big Hoover box at the bottom, and the brushes, and basically it just sucks up. You can control the power of the suction, and such like, and yeah, it's just a big Hoover.
Just take us through finally, if I may. Obviously, it's quite a small vehicle. I've seen you guys on the road before as well. What do you think about when motorists are driving and they're rushing past you? Is that becoming an increasing problem?
Yeah, it becomes quite dangerous, especially in the morning times. There's a lot of vehicles that just seem to want to get past you. I know it can be quite a rush in the mornings and they need to get to work, but sometimes some of the overtaking manoeuvres some of the motorists take is quite dangerous. You think to yourself afterwards, well, we was lucky there wasn't an accident then, really, and that is quite a big problem.
I suppose your message to motorists is just, bear with you. You're doing your job and you're trying to keep the island clean.
That's it, yeah. I mean, it's just like, stay safe. You don't need to. I mean, we're just trying to go as quick as we can, really.
We have 45 street sweepers we employ here. And we're responsible for all the street cleansing on the Isle of Wight, litter bins, dog bins, emptying of, and graffiti removal. All the roads are swept on a variety of different frequencies, and it's a working partnership, which is a very good one with the Isle of Wight Council.
Just take us through you're kind of like the hidden team, really, I suppose, aren't you? You're not seen a lot.
Yeah, but predominantly the town centres are done sort of 6 o'clock in the morning, so a lot of people are obviously in bed or on their way to work, don't see us, so the rest of the work is done later in the day, which would be residential roads or back roads, so like you say, maybe a bit not in the sight of the public all the time.
The council has told us that it spends about, I think it's 1.3 million a year on keeping our streets clean. How important do you think it is that we maintain the standard of clean streets on the island?
Very important, being that it's a tourist destination, the island, and we've been scored quite high in the country before for the cleanliness of the island. So I think it's very important to keep the area clean, and it's a good sort of when the people come over, people comment how clean the island is. So I think it's very, very important.
Take us through, with that in mind then, what's your biggest challenge at the moment? What's the thing facing you that you're thinking, crikey, we've got to get a grip on this before it becomes a problem?
Littering, obviously, dog fouling, black bags, people, people dump black bags here, there and everywhere. And some of our lads, when we are about on the roads, maybe people in the traffic behind us and stuff like that, not always aware of, they're in a hurry to get around us and stuff, so it's a bit of a gripe with the staffs. But that's the main sort of things that we have to deal with.
Have you seen a difference since the new arrangements have come in terms of the recycling and the changes in the black bags? Have people been trying to slip black bags, on the pavement to try and get rid of them?
I think maybe you could look at that way. I think sometimes it's just people are not aware of which day they should be putting the black bags out, so then they become our responsibility to clear those black bags. So I think it's just people have been putting their bags out on a certain day for a long number of years. It's very hard to sort of change that view and what people do, and it's easy to make a mistake of what week is a black bag week and what week is a recycling week. It's easy to get mixed up, isn't it? So
take us through in terms of graffiti and fly tipping over the last few years, for example. Have you seen an increase? Is it becoming a problem?
I think we've seen a slight decrease in the graffiti, but I think fly tipping's been about the same. It's a predominant level, and it seems to have I've been doing this for about 12 years now, this job. I think it's not got any worse. It's about the same level. It's always been a problem. But I think littering has increased, but maybe there's a lot more packaging with stuff, and everything's got a package now, isn't it? And it seems to have, and maybe there's more people living on the island, so there's an increase in litter and bags and everything.
When you say about fly tipping, what kind of things are you finding dumped on the side of the road and in hedges?
It can be anything: mattresses, microwaves, black bags, any household waste. Fridges. I think people are sort of unaware of a fridge from a domestic house can be taken to a civic site to be disposed of, but I don't know if people have just dumped things anywhere.
Do you think it's laziness or lack of education, the fact that people don't realise that they can take these items to the dump, as they know it?
Sometimes a lack of education, yeah, or people not checking, or it's just laziness. It's easier to dump it on the side of the road or a black bag. I'll just put it there, and if they see it goes the next day, they think maybe they think that's what the done procedure is, but they're not aware that it does cost the council money to clear these things.
And you say you've been in this job 12 years. Take us through how that has changed. I know we've just seen the small street cleanser with the brushes and stuff. What was it like when you first started here? Did you have to almost pick it up by hand? Has it changed dramatically?
No, we've always had mechanical road sweepers. No, I started just pushing a broom about with a barrow, but it's always mechanical sweepers have got more modern as time has gone on, and they do more and stuff like that, but it hasn't changed. The general job is pretty much the same as when I started.
And what about things like fag butts and chewing gum and stuff like that? Because a lot of people see them on the pavements.
Massive increase in cigarette ends when the smoking ban in the pubs came in. That was a big thing, but it seems to have calmed down a bit more. I think pubs have been more aware to put a cigarette bin sort of outside, or they're more aware that they've got to go out and sweep it up in the evening after they shut or something like that. But that was a bit of a problem for a while. But chewing gum's always been a problem. There's not a lot we can do about that one.
How difficult is it? Because obviously when you see it on the ground and on the pavements, it's stuck down quite a lot. Is it difficult to get up, or are the street cleaners capable of doing that? No,
you'd have to you'd need a hot wash or a specialist thing to pick it up. But no, we don't. It's very hard. If it's been there, once it's trodden in and driven in, it's staying there. So there's not a lot you can do with the chewing gum, I'm afraid.
Just my final question, if I may, looking to the future and looking ahead, what do you see as the biggest challenge facing you guys? Is it to try and temper the amount of litter increase that you say has occurred?
Yeah, maybe. I think the biggest challenge is to keep the island to the high standard that it is, and keep it a nice tourist destination, and work well with the council, and we've got a good group of staff here, and keep it to the levels that we've kept it at. And that's always a challenge.